Hello and welcome to In the Studio with Donny Carr. This is episode number 26. Today I wanted to show you a few cool techniques that can be applied using the Fruity Envelope Controller. This is a great way to add a little extra movement and motion and flavor to sounds without using automation, which can be very useful. Especially samples, because most VSTs are going to have envelopes and LFOs built into them, but samples do not. And this is a good way to, to get some extra flavor to your sounds here. But I'll be just using a quick down and dirty bass as an example for this, and we're going to program it from scratch using the 3X oscillator really quickly. So I just want a very simple sound. We'll use two oscillators, a sine and a saw wave, because I want lots of harmonics. And we'll detune these slightly. That'll do for the demonstration. Now let's pull up the Fruity Envelope Controller. And this is the tool that I wanted to show you. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I'll show you anyways. All right, so the envelope controller is triggered by MIDI, so if I select it and hit notes on my keyboard, it's going to cycle through that envelope. So what we want to do here is I want to link, first let's put the bass into the mixer. I'm going to put it on channel 15, and we're going to put a low pass filter on the bass. So, low pass filter. So I want to link the cutoff of the filter to the envelope controller. So let's go ahead and right click on this frequency here, the cutoff frequency. We'll go to link to controller, and articulator 1 is the one we want, accept. All right. Now when we play back having the envelope controller selected, it's going to move the cutoff filter, but not quite in the way we want. So we need to trigger both the bass sound and the envelope controller at the same time. So to do that, we're going to use the handy dandy little layer function, which I showed you in a few episodes back, to accomplish that. So we're going just to select these two, the bass and the envelope controller, and hit set children. That way, when we play back the layer, it's going to behave the way we want. So you have your basic envelope here, which you can, make a basic pluck and sculpt your sound the way you want to. But there's also a few other things you can do as well. Actually, there's lots of things lots of possibilities with this. This little guy has 8 articulators. Each of them has an envelope, an LFO. You can do some velocity mapping, which I'm going to show you here, and a few other different things. And an XY controller as well, which you can do some modulations with. But I'm just going to show you a few more basic techniques today. So the first thing I wanted to show you was doing some velocity mapping. So let's head over here to the velocity mapping tab. And what I want is, the softer I hit the notes, I want the filter to be more closed, and then the harder that I hit the notes, I want the filter to open up a little bit. And this is a very common feature on VSTs, but sometimes I like to use this on samples just to give that little extra flavor. So to do that, we're going to make this slope here. So the softer we hit the notes, and then the harder, it's going to open up that filter. And you could do the inverse, obviously, if you wanted to, but I would probably go for something a little bit more subtle, like something like that. Now, the envelope is still affecting how this filter is moving. Keep that in mind as well. So let's head back over to the envelope, and there's also another thing I wanted to show you here. If you delete these nodes, you can use this just to create kind of random sequences with the filtered cutoff or whatever parameter you have this linked to. So I'm just going to draw on a random sequence, put that there, and this goes on for quite some time, but it is not infinite. Do something like that. And that way, when you delete those nodes, you can draw out random sequences. So yeah, you know, you can kind of create some cool little wobbles or whatever, whatever you wanted to do there, but cool options for sure. And then, I mean, you can get crazy with it and start using the other articulators. So you can maybe, you know, put in a little peak here, or yeah, a resident peak, and link that to the LFO on the second articulator. So let's try that really quick. We'll take this guy, we'll link to controller, and we're going to go to articulator 2, hit accept, and we'll use the LFO. Turn that on. Turn it. So yeah, you can do a lot of cool things with this, and you know, you can maybe create some really cool atmospheres with a lot of movement as well. But I just think it's a really cool little tool. It's very useful, I find, and I just wanted to, I think it merited an episode here. So leave me a comment, leave me a question, and I'll see you soon. Take care.